All right, today we're going to dive into two of the most foundational teachings in Buddhism. But here's the twist. We're not going to look at them as two separate, dusty ideas. Instead, we're going to see how they fit together perfectly to form one single, elegant system. A practical map for understanding how our own minds work and, more importantly, how we can find real freedom right inside them. You know, it all starts with this. This is one of the Buddha's deepest insights, and it's kind of like a law of spiritual physics. The first part, because this exists, that arises. That's the formula for how suffering gets created. But the second part, because this ceases, that ceases, well, that's the formula for how it ends. It's the whole problem and the whole solution, all in one breath. This simple logic is the engine that drives everything we're about to explore. So here are the two sides of that coin we were just talking about. On one side, you have dependent origination. Just think of this as the diagnostic manual. It lays out the problem, exactly how suffering gets built and keeps itself going. And on the other side, we've got the threefold training. That's the instruction manual. It explains the path, the super practical steps for how we dismantle the whole thing. Okay, so let's start with the problem. The best way to think about it is like a piece of software running in the background of your mind. It's this self-perpetuating loop of stress and dissatisfaction, and the wild part is, for most of us, it runs on complete autopilot. We don't even notice it's there. And this is the blueprint for that software, the 12 links of dependent origination. Now, this might look a little intimidating, but seriously, do not worry about memorizing all 12 parts. The core idea is what matters. Suffering isn't random. It happens because of a very specific chain of causes and conditions. And if you can find a way to interrupt that chain, you can actually end the suffering. So let's actually trace the flow of this wheel for a second. Again, the goal here isn't to become an expert on every single link, but to feel the momentum of it, to see how one stage just naturally and inevitably slides into the next, moment after moment. It all kicks off with a little spark, a fundamental misunderstanding called ignorance. Now, this isn't about being dumb or unintelligent or anything like that. It's simply not seeing things as they truly are, with total clarity. And this very subtle confusion, well, it's the fuel that powers all our automatic habits and reactions, setting this entire wheel in motion. Okay, next, our senses. Sight, sound, touch make contact with the world, and that creates a feeling. It could be pleasant, unpleasant, or just kind of neutral. Now, this is the most important part, so lean in for this one. The feeling itself is not the problem. It's just raw data. The problem, the exact moment suffering is actually born, is our automatic, unconscious reaction to that feeling. It's that lurch of, I need more of this, or get this away from me. That reaction is craving. And that little flash of craving, it solidifies almost instantly into clinging. We fixate on that feeling, we grab onto it, and we start to build an identity around it. I am angry, or I need that to be happy. This sense of becoming is what creates the actual experience of suffering. And of course, because everything in the world changes, that identity is doomed to fall apart, which just feeds our original ignorance and, you guessed it, kicks off the whole cycle all over again. So when you look at it like that, as this automatic, self-perpetuating loop that's been running our entire lives, wow, it can feel pretty hopeless, right? Is it just a closed system? Are we just stuck on this ride? Is there even an exit? Well, the answer is a huge, resounding yes. There is an exit. And that exit strategy is the path, the threefold training. You can think of it as the manual override for that automatic loop we just mapped out. It's a set of skills we can consciously develop to step right out of the cycle. And get this, just like the problem is a dynamic wheel, the solution is also a dynamic system. This isn't some linear step 1, step 2 process where you master one thing and then move on. Nope. The threefold training is a set of 3 interconnected practices that are all happening at once, constantly supporting and refining each other. Each part makes the other 2 stronger. It's brilliant. So what are these 3 pillars? Well, first, you've got sila, or ethical conduct. That's all about training our actions in the world. Second is samadhi, which covers things like concentration and mindfulness. It's about training our attention. And third is panya, or wisdom. This is about training our view of reality, developing a direct, first-hand insight into how things really are, beyond our stories about them. Okay, so we've got the problem, that chain of suffering, and we have the path, our toolkit for freedom. Now for the most important part, the part where it all comes together. How do these tools actually break those chains? This is where you see the real genius of this integrated system. This right here is the payoff.
Each part of the path is like a precision tool designed to break a specific link in that chain. Sila, ethical conduct, stops harmful actions before they can even get started and cause more problems. Samadhi, or mindfulness, creates this crucial space, a pause, right in that tiny gap between a feeling and our automatic reaction to it. And Panya, wisdom, is the heavy hitter. It goes straight to the very root of the entire problem, completely slicing through the ignorance that started the whole mess.
For most of us, for you and for me, this is where the rubber meets the road. This is the most practical place to start. Through mindfulness training, which is really what meditation is all about, you develop this incredible ability to simply notice a feeling as it arises, without that immediate automatic lurch into craving or pushing it away. You literally create a space between the stimulus and your response. So, I know this can all sound a bit theoretical and abstract. Let's make it crystal clear. We're going to apply this entire system, both the problem and the path, to a simple, everyday situation that I guarantee we have all been through.
Okay, imagine this. Someone ignores your message. With the untrained mind, that wheel spins fast. An unpleasant feeling arises, craving for a reply kicks in instantly. This hardens into clinging. They don't respect me, this is awful. And then you become an identity, angry, hurt, a victim. The result? Pure suffering. But with the trained mind, Samadhi just clearly notices the unpleasant feeling without freaking out. Sila stops you from firing off an angry follow-up text. And Panya brings some perspective, understanding the situation is temporary and, it's probably not even personal. And just like that, the chain stops dead in its tracks. So what's the end game here? What's the ultimate goal of applying this whole strategy? Well, it's called Nibbana. And it's so important to get this right. Nibbana is not some fluffy cloud heaven you go to when you die. It's not a place at all. It is a state. It is the complete, tangible, and experienceable end of this looping cycle of suffering. It's what happens when the strategy actually works. So, after all of that, if there's just one thing you take away from this whole explainer, let it be this simple distinction. The entire system boils down to two lines. Dependent origination is the diagnosis. It explains why we suffer. And the threefold training is the prescription. It explains how we stop. You see, this hidden loop doesn't just span across lifetimes or something abstract like that. It runs in every single moment of our lives. So the final question isn't for me, it's for you. As you go about your day today, which link in that chain are you going to notice first?